Hello friends, it's Hannah. The lighting in this video is going to be real interesting, so I'm just going to ask you to bear with me. But I really was in the bathroom getting ready and just decided I had to film this video right now, so that's what we're doing. But yeah, you guys would be cackling, like dying laughing at me if you saw the way I have to get into my bed. Our bed, we just put in a bed frame and it's really tall and I'm short and I literally have to use my triceps and jump, catapult onto my hands and lift myself up like this onto the bed every single time I get in it. And I was doing it on the edge of the bed and completely ate it earlier. But yeah, it is what it is. I love our bed frame and it's great. So I really don't want to have to, first of all, just build another one, but also it's a very comfortable bed, so I'm okay with it. But that was so funny and it completely distracted me. But yes, welcome to today's video. Today we are talking about comparison and how to get a life and get over it, because truthfully, you need to. Everyone needs to. And something that was really influential in my ability to kind of do everything that I've done with my life over the past few years was getting rid of comparison and really leaning in to joy, first of all, for myself, but also being happy for other people. I feel like so many people in this world are so jealous of everybody else, and it's you gotta stop. It's not fun, it's not nice, it's not cute. If you're jealous of everybody else, you're not taking care of yourself at all. And honestly, things are gonna move really slow for you, because if you're so caught up in what everyone else is doing, you're not gonna be doing your own stuff. And the biggest way that I truly believe that you can get rid of comparison is to get a life, make yourself interesting, get some hobbies, do some things, and get over it. And for me, one of the easiest ways to do this was to get really clear on who I am, what I want to do, where I want to be going, and how I want to get there. So I took this big piece of paper. This was, maybe in 2019. I was very end of high school, and I was doing online school, and I was sick and tired of people telling me what to do and trying to fit in with everybody else. So I wrote this big list of things I wanted to do, things like poetry and painting and traveling, because I had never ever been out of the country except for to Mexico, and I wanted to internationally travel so bad. And I wanted to do all of these things because I really wanted them. And that's the key part. You have to write down things you want for yourself, not that you want because somebody else has, because you're not going to get there because they are not you. So you need to align yourself with what you want. What are the characteristics of other people that you would like to have for yourself? Not because you're jealous of them, but because you think they're brilliant and cool and smart and interesting, and you would like to level up into a position where you can be that way too. So I wrote this list of all of these things I wanted to do. I wanted to fall in love, I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that, and I wrote down the characteristics of every part of it. I wanted an apartment, I wanted a 2-bedroom apartment, I wanted it to have white walls, I wanted it to have in-unit laundry, I wanted it to cost me X amount of dollars a month. And guess what? I wrote this huge piece of paper a few years ago, and I found a picture of it on my phone the other day. I'm sitting in that exact apartment right now. And part of that is hard work and dedication and time and energy, but part of that is to get clear on what you want and put the intention in, and then allow the universe to happen, work really hard, and eventually you'll land there. But when you can get a life and you can get interesting, if you can, even if you're in a space where, it's kind of a dark period for you, I've been there, 10 minutes a day take some sort of class on YouTube. It could be painting, it could be yoga, it could be like makeup, it could be whatever you want. But pick a skill that you would like to have and then do everything in your power to develop that skill and get more interesting. And when you're doing that, do not compare it to anybody else's skill, to anybody else's shit. This is about you and the journey you are on in life. It's not about anybody else. And that's something that matters so much, is to take care of you, to get a life, and to get rid of it. And I swear, as soon as you start liking your life, you are going to care so much less what other people think because you're happy. Like, I love my life. I have the coolest life. If someone came to me today and was like, your life sucks, I would literally look at them like they were insane and be like, no, it doesn't. Sorry. Like, I'm not sorry because my life sucks. I'm sorry because you're judging me. Like, it doesn't. And I need everyone to adopt that mindset. Like, life is good. I'm working on my stuff. There are places I want to go and things I want to do next, but I'm good here too. And I feel really proud of where I'm at. And when you feel that way, no one can tell you anything about yourself, and you stop caring about what other people think, because the happiness exudes out of you. It's coming from you. You don't need anyone to tell you you're on the right path, you're doing the right thing, whatever you are, but you don't need anyone else to say it because you know that now. And it's the coolest, most exciting place to be when you can really trust yourself. But in order to do that, you have to stop comparing to others. It doesn't matter if you are, 3 days, 3 months, 3 years, 30 years into whatever you're trying to create and build. If you really focus on you and making yourself better and working harder for yourself, it will come. But if you look at everyone else around you and you just sit there and say, oh, I want exactly the life they have, or I'm gonna sit here and just zone in on them and focus on their life is probably going to keep getting better because they're focused on themselves. But when you focus on everybody else and all of their stuff, you can't quiet the noise. So what are the best ways, I believe, to get a life and get over comparison? The first thing is something we all do. We all have to get over it. It's scrolling on Instagram. When you are constantly looking at the highlights of everybody else's life, you are absolutely not able to completely turn off comparison because you're constantly looking at their life compared to yours. Because you're looking at your profile and their profile and your profile and their profile. It is horrific. I recently, as in yesterday, got back on Instagram and TikTok in order to promote my channel. But the biggest thing with that is I'm not following or scrolling on anyone else's stuff. I am still following the people I was following previously. A lot of them are my friends. I really care about that, but I'm not scrolling. I'm not looking through people's stuff all the time. And I genuinely think that narrowing that noise and taking it out is so helpful. Same thing with TikTok. I'm not scrolling on other people's stuff. I'm posting and getting off and just leaving it. And that's it. And with YouTube, I do watch other creators. I think YouTube's a beautiful platform, and the reason why is because the creators I watch are teaching something. It's like TED Talks or people who are providing some sort of skill or insight or education that I don't have. But I'm not just looking at their pretty lives. I'm really trying to learn from them. And that's the difference, is content that's educational I think is so valuable. But when you're just comparing yourself to a static photo of someone, that's not their real life. That's not the full picture. That's that quick. That's it. So genuinely think scrolling on Instagram is like the number one thing that you can stop doing to help yourself. And every time I've caught myself scrolling endlessly on Instagram are the times I'm like the most just judgmental and stressed out and I don't feel like I'm good enough. So you have to quiet that noise. The second thing that you can do that is so crucial to stop comparing yourself is get some hobbies. I don't care what hobby you want. You could do anything. You could do yoga like I do. You could paint. You could do pottery. I usually list the things that I do because they're the first things that come to my head. But you could start hiking. You could start running. You could go to a run club. You could like literally whatever. You could start collaging. You could read a book. You could do whatever. But like getting hobbies and widening the scope of your life is one of the number one ways to get over comparison, because when you're doing stuff you like, there's no reason to compare to anybody else. So you have to get some hobbies. Personally, if you want to start with hobbies, I suggest finding one thing that you like and doing it consistently, at least 10 minutes a day for a week. Then exceeding the time little by little, and eventually adding other stuff in. When I started just with like Pilates, and then I would add in a little bit of yoga, and then I would add in a little bit of meditation, and then I would add in a little bit of painting, and then a little bit of poetry, and then a little bit of journaling, and then eventually I rounded out, and now I have like a full, beautiful life full of hobbies and things I do every day that are all things that I do with a job and with a life, but I just prioritize those things for myself. And I don't do every single thing every single day, but I do make time for all of my favorite hobbies throughout my week, and it makes me so happy. And when people ask me about my life, I have something to talk about, which is the third thing. I think a lot of people, when they are talking to someone, don't know what to say about themselves. They don't feel like they're interesting. You have to make yourself more interesting. You have to get more hobbies, go more places, do more things, even things that cost no money. If you just like go for walks regularly, that gives you something to talk about. You see something interesting on your walk or a beautiful plant or whatever it is, that is automatically a talking point. But when you are talking to someone who seems so interesting and exciting and has so much to say and you can't keep up, that is always going to tear you down inside because you don't feel like you have things to contribute. When you can contribute, you feel better. So find things you're passionate about. Even if it's just like the movie you like to watch or the book you're currently reading, all of those things are valuable. And like if you're in conversation with me, that's exactly the kind of stuff I want to hear. I want to hear what makes you you, what you like, what you're doing, what you are excited about. And if you don't have any of that, the conversation gets really dull really quickly. So you have to get interesting, get shit to talk about, and be able to talk about it. And it's not easy. These things aren't easy to do. But when you do them, the shift and like the dynamic change is so just like, wow, like big. And it feels amazing to love yourself and care about yourself and not care what other people think about you. It feels so good. And I wish it for everybody in the world because I spent so long caring so much what everyone else would say. And did I know when I got a poetry degree, people would have something to say about it? Yes. Did I care? No. Did I know when I decided to move to the city I live in now and leave my life behind and my family and all my friends and everything, people would have something to say about it? Absolutely. Did I care? No. Because I'm so happy and I love my life. And I talk about this with my boyfriend all the time. We're so grateful all the time because we're doing the thing. We're out here and we're doing our best and we're trying our best and we're working our hardest, and that's so awesome. And you can do it too. It's not hard once you are able to get over the fear. So what can you do to really dissipate that fear? You can lean into love for yourself, love for your life, love for your creativity, love for your art, love for your improvement, and you can say, you know what, no, I'm choosing me. I'm choosing me. This is the only life that I get that I know of. So I'm going to do everything that I can in my power to make this life something that I'm really proud of. And I can tell you something for a fact, when I, thank you God, get to the end of my life, a very, very long time from now, I want to look back, and I know I'm going to look back and say, I am so proud that I did all of that stuff and I didn't care what anyone thought of it. Because if I can get there and feel that way, I did something right. But if I get to my, thank you God, end destination a very long time from now, I really, really, really would be devastated if I said, I really wish I did all this stuff, but I didn't do it because I cared what someone thought. That would kill me, because I genuinely want to lead with the example of doing good things for yourself and making the choices you want to make without caring what anybody else thinks about it. And that belief, that sort of joy that comes from that is so powerful and so important and so productive. And if I could tell like me at like 16, like, hey, we're gonna change our entire life. Don't worry, I got you. It's gonna be fine. I would have been so much calmer for so much more of my life if I just like had made choices that I liked the whole way through. But it's a skill you have to learn, and I'm here to tell you about it because I'd love for you to learn it too. It's not just like you wake up one day and all of a sudden you are completely confident, you don't care what anybody thinks. Like, of course you do. And there are times when I still do. I'm not saying I'm perfect at this. Anything I talk about, I'm talking about because it's something I'm working on and something I'm learning and something that I'm so excited to learn that I want to come back here and tell you about it. Like, it's not something that I'm just like, oh, I'm perfect at this. Like, of course not. We're human. Like, I am honestly really good at it compared to how I used to be, but we all have room to grow. And again, there's your comparison. I think the only person that you should ever compare yourself to is who you were yesterday. If you can look back and say something like that, I'm much better than I was X amount of days ago, you're killing it. You're doing great. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And I genuinely believe that you can do it. I genuinely believe you can make a change for yourself. I genuinely believe that things can get better for you. Write down what you want to be doing right now, even if it's something you've never done before, like horseback riding. Say you really want to do horseback riding, you've never horseback rode in your life. Write down every single thing you want to do, and then narrow it down to like, what's something you could do today that gets you a step closer? Like one thing. You could watch a video about horses. That gets you closer. Now you know something new about horses. And every day, if you repeat that skill and you build these hobbies and you build this new path for yourself, you never know what could come from it. And when you start to live that life and move that way, all the noise gets really quiet. And when you have a quiet mind that loves yourself and doesn't feel the need to compare to anybody else, you can change your whole life and you can change the world. So yeah, that is today's video. You got this. I love you. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.